Season 6, Episode 18 of This Is Us saw the end of each of the big three stories for the time being, as well as a wonderful validation of their family bond. Everything was neatly wrapped up in the last scene with the big three, now senior people, mourning their mother's death. They expressed their grief over Rebecca's passing, pledged to honor her memory by living completely, and promised to stay in touch. You couldn't ask for a more fitting send-off. This Is Us has chronicled Rebecca's journey over the years, as well as those of her children. After Jack's death, each of the Pearsons disintegrated in their own manner, and the big three quarreled and fought as much as they came together as youngsters and adults. All good things must come to an end, but it fits a show founded on delightfully silly sentiments. This Is Us, NBC family drama, has offered a steady stream of life lessons that sound like Hallmark cards, but with a deeper and more intellectual twist for 6 seasons. We've shed countless tears of joy and happiness as we've observed these lessons emerge through the Pearson family's complicated but loving dynamics. We saw handsome, rough working-class Jack Pearson fall in love with Rebecca, a stunning country club upbringing musician and dreamer. We saw the lovers raise an unusual family with triplets who were lost as twins and then adopted as triplets again. We watched as those 3 siblings grew up to become the big three, dealing with sibling and parental tensions as they formed their own lives, both individually and together. Thanks to a fantastic cast, crew, and creators, their journey of love, sorrow, soul-searching, and discovering was tumultuous but always beautiful. We arrived at the end of the voyage tonight. The series finale centered on 3 storylines: a Saturday in the Big Three preteen age, Rebecca's funeral ceremonies, and Rebecca chatting with Jack at the end of the train ride that characterized her perspective of her final moments. Let's take a look at the big end of the Big Three. Rebecca was most worried of forgetting small memories after being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, such as a Saturday when the kids were small and the family just played a game together. The best example is shown in the final flashback. It all starts when Jack notices a scar beneath Rebecca's brow. She recalls her father inadvertently striking her with his watch while pushing her on a swing. Her favorite way to spend time with her father was on the swings. However, Rebecca regrets that she was always too preoccupied with wondering when such moments would end to thoroughly appreciate them. Enter a life lesson on living in the moment, as well as a poetic montage of 3 generations of Pearsons pushing their children on swings. When Rebecca awakens from her trance, she notices that they have no plans for that Saturday. Randall and Kevin exhibit indifference in family bonding over breakfast, while Kate cheerfully gives suggestions on how they may spend time together. They play Foursquare before watching home films, including one in which Jack teaches the big three a chant about themselves, which we saw early in the series. Kevin and Randall stomp off, unimpressed by the footage. Kevin confronts Rebecca. He admits he's disappointed since he couldn't complete pull-ups during the school fitness exam, despite running the fastest mile and doing the most sit-ups. Rebecca claims that not everything will be simple for him. He may have to work hard to become the person she believes he can be, but that working hard will make the huge successes even sweeter. To Kevin's joy, she adds that his doctor believes he will grow up to be a real jock. Rebecca becomes unsure of Kevin's viewpoint, but Kevin compliments her for always saying the correct thing. Meanwhile, Jack approaches Randall, who admits that he was suspended from Mathletes because he played a cruel prank on another student to stop a classmate from tormenting him over hair growing above his lip. Randall is so remorseful that Jack sees no reason to punish him any further. He instead demonstrates how to shave. Hairless Kevin, too, insists on learning. Rebecca is overjoyed to see her sons reach this milestone. The brothers then declare that they are too old to play baby games with Kate, such as pin the tail on the donkey. Jack cautions them not to dismiss Kate because she appreciates the value of living in the moment. When you're young, you want to be older, and when you're older, you want to go back in time, and it's strange what you remember and want to go back to. Although the boys ignore Jack's musings, Jack assures them that they will soon understand. At the very least, the boys grow more supportive of Kate as they play pin the tail. Cut to Rebecca and Jack discovering the game at a store when the big three were babies and observing that the cover portrays 3 children who look just like the big three: a white girl, a white boy, and a black boy. Rebecca is adamant about purchasing the game because you don't just walk away from something so obvious when the universe puts it in front of you. You can be missing out on something crucial. Kate shows off her tail pinning abilities on that preteen Saturday, and the family proceeds to have a good time. We pondered why Beth brought Pin the Tail on the donkey to Rebecca's farewell party, and why Toby brought sidewalk chalk, and the big three marveled at the kids playing Foursquare earlier in the episode. We now know that these activities were part of the type of memory Rebecca wished to keep, so include them in her final days makes sense. The Big Three's reaction is more important than the game's relevance in the aftermath of Rebecca's death. Toby consoles Kate before the funeral, and Nikki consoles Kevin in his own way. Randall is having trouble writing a eulogy, but assures Beth that he is in control of his emotions and is looking forward to the future with his wife and potential grandchildren. He tells his kids later, after the funeral, that everything feels futile. He spent his youth worrying about losing Rebecca, the last decade scared of it, and now she's gone and everything will go on as usual. Tess and Annie depart for Randall's comfort. It's strange that Deja, rather than Tess, was given the role of Randall's closest friend's daughter throughout the series. I can't help but think Tess was underserved as a character, although it could be because Deja and Randall are adopted siblings or simply because Deja is older. In any case, Deja claims that the fact that Randall will become a grandfather demonstrates it isn't pointless. Cut to William affectionately reflecting on his position as a grandfather to Tess and Annie and the responsibility of a grandparent. Back to Deja informing Randall that she is expecting a boy, whom she will name William, whom she has never met. Randall is overjoyed to have a son to raise after raising only women. I don't like it when parents have varied feelings about different genders, yet Deja's happy news effectively cheers Randall up. Soon later, Kevin sits with his brothers and wonders what they would do without his parents. Kate advises them to follow their mother's wishes and live boldly. Kate plans to start a slew of music schools for the blind, while Kevin concentrates on his organization and spends more time at home, which he has been longing for. Randall will continue his political ascent, presumably toward president, pending Beth's consent. Kate, on the other hand, is concerned that they will become separated in the process. Randall responds that his siblings and parents come to mind first when he thinks of his family, followed by his wife and children. Kevin and Kate both agree. The siblings then rehearse their Big Three chant, with Kevin assuring Kate that if she wanders, they'll find her. Randall wonders what it meant when Rebecca squeezed his hand in her final moments, capping off this final sibling connection. Jack says he overlooked Rebecca's scar when she joins him on the train. She claims she is afraid and does not want to leave the kids. She won't, according to Jack. She'll be with them for everything crucial. Rebecca then reflects about her and Jack meeting in the pub that night. What she mentioned about the pin the tail on the donkey game is repurposed by Jack. As they pass over, the couple exchanges I love yous, and Rebecca squeezes Jack's, Randall's, hand. Cut to the Pearsons joyfully mourning Rebecca and the preteen period family playing that Saturday. Our adventure comes to a close when Randall offers his father a knowing look about savoring the present. It's surprising that the show didn't close with the precise words, "This is us," and Randall had the final frame to himself. However, the goodbye hit plenty of feel-good notes worthy of this series for the most part. But as Kevin pointed out, what do we do now? So, what are your thoughts? And perhaps hope for a reunion special to see the next generation of Pearsons find happiness. In any event, it's been a privilege to serve as your recapper throughout this adventure. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and may we all remember the lessons. This is us, talking about everything from life to death and everything in between.